This episode of Bourbon on Ice, presented by your friend Frosty and your bartender Mike Whiskey, is brought to you by the Cape Media Center of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The views and opinions expressed during this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the Cape Media Center. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, Whiskey.
Hey, Frosty, what's going on? What's all this setup? Are we doing something new?
You think we should do it again?
I don't know. Should we?
You want to play the music?
No, you.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Coming up on this episode of Bourbon on Ice.
Your favorite Cape Cod DJs return to the airwaves. Well, sort of.
We help you get to know us and love us all over again.
And we talk about something trendy, something important. Coloring books.
This is Bourbon on Ice with your friend Frosty.
And your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
Stay tuned. Hello there, this is your friend Frosty.
And your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
And you're listening to Bourbon on Ice. I think we've made that point clear.
Maybe. We could say it one more time, because it's a cool name.
Should we do it together?
Yeah, sure, let's try it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Bourbon on Ice.
Man, I'm thirsty now.
I got some juice boxes.
Are we subliminizing people out there?
For what?
Oh my gosh, do we have powers that we're not aware of?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm not aware of them.
Ooh. Okay, well, anyway, I think we should just jump right into this and say, hi, everyone. We're back. For those of you who know who we are, it's us again. And for those of you who don't, let me introduce myself. I am your friend Frosty.
Yeah, I think the people who know about us are few and far between, but I am your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
Are they really far in between? We should probably do something about that.
If we had some fans who listened to us while they were driving home from the radio, from on their way to and from work and stuff while we were on the radio, hello. But I'm surprised you found us here too.
That may be how you know us, actually.
Happy we found you here, but
we are two former radio DJs from 90.7 WKKL. And we have been Cape Cod radio DJs for quite some time, but then we stopped, and then we started up again.
Yeah, we went our separate ways and did a few things, and a few other things that we're not going to tell you about.
No, because, FCC and censors and the FBI looking for us and all that.
And lawyers, they just tell us not to say these things.
Hidden identities, bodies to bury.
The witness protection program.
So many secrets.
Oh, yes.
You know what? We should.
And if we told you, we'd have to kill you.
Let's not do that. I mean, we do need a fan base, but we should tell them a little bit about ourselves. How about?
Yes, we should.
How about 3 things each of us, so we can reintroduce ourselves.
All right, you go first, and then I'll go, and then you go, and then I go, and then they go.
How will we know if they're saying anything?
We'll check the comments section.
We have a comment section?
We will.
I like it. Okay, let's see, 3 things. Number 1, this is your friend Frosty, and I'd like to say that one thing you should know about me is that I am diabetic. I was diagnosed last year, stage 2, and it turned my life upside down, and I was even hospitalized briefly, but, I'm working through it, and I'm learning more about myself and how to keep myself healthy and all that, and that's something you should know about me.
Yeah, we're keeping you together and learning all that dietary stuff. A few tips from me, because I got some gluten-free stuff going on. That helps with the diabetes a lot, actually.
Okay, your turn.
My turn? Oh, no. First thing you should probably know about me is I'm a simple guy. I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree, at least I'm lit, but I do love learning. You'll find me with books and all sorts of different things just coming up out of the top of my head.
But not figuratively. I mean, not literally, just figuratively, because that would be terrifying.
It would be terrifying.
Okay, then.
Yeah, just the metaphorical kind.
Stuff coming out of the top of your head. Have you ever seen the
That's
Puppet
called
Masters?
hairs.
No. Have you ever seen the Puppet Masters?
No.
Oh, it was a really freaky sci-fi film. Lots of aliens jamming themselves in the back of people's heads to take over them. Lots of blood.
What was that one? The Body Snatchers. That sounds like that.
You mean the original and not the Invasion?
Yeah, the original.
Okay, good. The original was the good one. Creepy, but good.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. Something you should know about me, number 2, is I am a gay man. I am a gay leather man, as a matter of fact, former title holder, and very proud of it, involved in the community. I've got to make a big shout out to all my friends out there listening from all over. Hey guys, representing here. Miss you all, and butt smacks and whip cracks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I said that. Deal with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to deal with it. You just handed it off to me, and now it's all red and sore.
Yeah, follow that. Your turn.
Wow, I don't know how I follow that. I follow that with, basically, I'm a Christian. I'm about as far away from that as possible. I'm a Christian. You look fabulous, though.
Thank you.
I know. No, I'm Christian. I'm pretty milquetoast about it too. But I also, like I said, I love learning. I do a lot of reading. I've read the Tao Te Ching and started reading the Hindu scriptures. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna even attempt to try and pronounce that on air because I don't have any sort of dialogue thing here for me prepared. But also, I'm working my way through others because I like learning about other people's religions too, even though I'm Christian. And
well, being Christian doesn't mean you can't learn about other things.
well, yeah, that's something that people tend to forget about sometimes.
Sometimes some of the most fascinating things I've ever read happen to be from other cultures, languages, stories. One of my best friends actually gave me a book, Tales of the Unusual and Strange, or something like that. I gotta look it up. It's sitting on my nightstand, and it's all of these amazing stories from the Far East that were gathered and put back together over the years.
The Far East is definitely my favorite area for the older stories. They've got some great ones.
And notice how old these stories are. I'm calling it the Far East. That's how
Yeah.
they're referenced in the book.
Yeah.
And not by country names at this point, by countries that don't even exist anymore. And the third thing you should know about me, most important, I am a nerd.
Nerd.
Yes, me. I am a video gamer. I am a pinball player, a trading card game player. I have no interest whatsoever in sports unless that is basketball. Seriously, sorry. And
Only basketball?
only basketball. I love basketball. But,
I'm kind of a hockey guy myself.
hockey's fun if you're there watching it.
Yeah, it's definitely a spectator sport, especially when they start to fight. That's my favorite part.
Horror movies, video games. I write fanfic. I have a long love history with indie music, indie games, following indie artists. I am a 100% confessed nerd. Deal with it.
And yeah, I'm a nerd too. Yeah, crazy, I know. I'm a dungeon master. I played tabletop RPGs like Frosty. I do the trading card games and other video games, Pokemon, Legend of Zelda. It's all there. It's all in the games. It's all in the back catalog.
I just gotta say, I'm in the kink community, he's in the gaming community. There's a distinction between Dungeon Master in those two contexts.
Don't get them confused.
Don't get them confused. You'll show up wearing the wrong thing to the wrong party.
I did that once. It wasn't pretty.
Oh
We ended up having a great time, but it wasn't pretty to start.
Oh my gosh, there's gotta be pictures of this. All right.
Not that you'll ever find.
You'd be surprised.
No. You wouldn't find these ones.
I will tell you that, some of the most interesting parties, I'm going to put that in quotations, that I've been to, people get stopped at the door and they say, we're going to have to take cameras, frisk you for cell phones. And, that just excites me. Like, I'm going into a place where we can't record anything? What's going to happen in here? And then usually it's just all of us sitting around talking. Okay, so we did all of that. I'm bored now. Let's sit and talk. Which we should do now. Let's talk.
What are we talking about?
We are talking about a craze that has swept the world, and much like mason jars, food trucks, and TikTok, it was something that no one thought would catch on, that people thought would be just in and out, that people probably gave up years ago. Something dramatic, something outstanding, it's coloring books.
Coloring books. Woo-boo!
Yeah, I couldn't do any more build-up. I'm sorry. I just had to be blunt.
Yeah, there's only so much billowing and build-up.
Building up?
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to make up a word like from Dr. Seuss, embiggering and biggering.
No, not quite. I'm not that smart.
Coloring books, such an interesting concept. Something that years ago, as children, we were handed and told, here, do this and stay out of our hair for a while. Usually because mommy had a drink in her hand or daddy was, running off in the opposite direction of us.
Out to get those cigarettes.
Colorful pencils, nice markers, and you could have a happy sun and people having a picnic.
And he never came back.
We're just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that there. Coloring books started making a comeback, and inexplicably, they grew beyond just the average designs of, happy little farmland animals
or Mandelas.
Now they have become a therapeutic tool. Therapists recommend them. People everywhere hand them out. You know what? This seems like something that a pair of nerds should talk about.
Yeah.
I think it's time for the Cape Cod Nerd Word. I'm going to play the music.
Play.
I like this.
Yes.
I like this. Do you have any coloring books of your own?
I picked up one to talk about on this segment because I'd never done this before.
Really?
Yeah.
In all these years, you've never had one of your own?
Never had a coloring book of my own.
They're everywhere. There's superhero designs, there's horror designs, there's all this crazy stuff.
No.
You've never been tempted, like, in the store, just, like, seeing them?
Never tempted. The one I picked out, and it was sort of just on the spur of the moment, is fairy fashion. Fantasy fairy. So, like, in, not Lord of the Rings, but, like, other fantasy novels.
Oh, you have it with you? Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I got it with. So, I just did the first one on the page, just a tree with the fairy and the swans.
That's beautiful. And how did it make you feel?
Made me felt bored.
The idea of coloring books is one that consumes time. It doesn't expend a lot of energy, and it also, to be blunt, doesn't expend a lot of brain power.
No, yeah. My brain was operating on, like, potato.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with a nice, calm, trite task. Go ahead and just kill a couple of minutes coloring things in. No one says there's even any rules that you have to have colors specifically done in the right way. I mean, let's not forget, what did they call it? Paint by numbers?
Yeah, paint by numbers. That was big in the 80s and 70s.
Was that primarily a children's thing?
No, it was adults who did that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they'd give you a box of watercolors or acrylic paint, and each one would be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, usually not too far beyond 10, and you'd paint in by the number. So your yellow would be 1, and everything 1 would be painted yellow.
Did you ever do these yourself?
I never did those, but it's talked about in Jackson Brown's song "The Pretender." He talks about one of the lyrics is, "We'll fill in the missing colors of our paint-by-number dreams."
That's deep.
That is deep.
Jackson Brown, is he a favorite of yours?
He is. Not the biggest favorite, but I do enjoy his music. It's meaningful.
You say colors, and the one that comes to my mind is actually one of the number one albums the day I was born, which is, of course, Cyndi Lauper singing True Colors.
Oh, yeah.
I got to grow up with such an awesome song. And it's been covered by so many people. And it has nothing to do with painting. It has nothing to do with drawing or painting. It's just show your true colors, which I think is a very important message.
It is an important message, but you know who also has a song about coloring?
Let's hear it.
It's Barbra Streisand, believe it or not. It was a financial flop. She sang a cover of the song My Coloring Book, which is perfect for this segment.
I've literally never heard of this song. And I'm a gay person.
It was a financial flop, that Barbra Streisand song, but was actually written by Fred Ebb and John Kander.
I'm a gay person, and I have never heard of this Barbra Streisand song.
Yeah.
I need to go, check in with a local gay group. I am, sit down, have a cup of coffee with them and say, guys, there's an issue. We really need to discuss this.
Well, that's your prerogative. Yeah, that was 1962.
1962.
Yeah.
All right, I actually have something here that I should tell you about. I was trailing around on the internet looking for porn, but I also found information, good information. Yeah, according to, I actually stuck my nose into NPR looking around for information on coloring books, and I happened to come up with some interesting stuff from Steve Drummond over on NPR.
Oh, cool.
It was called The People vs. Coloring Books, The Verdict is In.
And what is the verdict?
He doesn't like them.
Nah, don't get me wrong, I understand the appeal, but it's not for whiskey. In fact, in the research that I was doing, if you did coloring books as a kid, you are far more likely to enjoy coloring as an adult.
You didn't do them a lot as a kid, did you?
No, I didn't.
Steve Drummond was, as I bluntly said, against coloring books, claiming they celebrate conformity and they stifle creativity. He compared research on this article from Victor Lowenfeld, a 1947 professor at Penn State, the lack of creativity coloring books encourage, and also dependency upon someone else's outline of an object makes children much less confident in their own means of expression. They obviously cannot draw a cow as good as the one in the coloring book. Okay, I can understand that. I mean, I never tried.
I understand where you're coming from, I just don't agree with you.
Why would you bother trying? I mean, no one says you have to.
Yeah, and have you ever seen a child fill in the lines? No, I get a cow who's colored yellow.
A yellow cow.
A yellow cow.
That would make some interesting leather.
Yeah, it would. Very nice. Just broad strokes up and down. They colored in the cow. They colored in the sky. They colored in the grass. All yellow.
Oh my gosh, it's like the lines don't exist. Yay, score. I like this kid.
Yeah, but you know that's an interesting point, though, because it is an interesting point on Mr. Bannon? Drummond's point, because in the 60s, when my coloring book was written and performed by various artists, the coloring books that were out then were scathing political commentary. I'm sorry, not political commentary, social commentary. They'd give you a
6 1/2 dozen of the other.
Yeah, have you seen the pictures of these? They
Ooh, let me look. Pretty.
Yeah, that one is this is my pill. It is pink. It keeps me sane. And that was the instructions. You were supposed to color in the pill pink. That's it. This is my suit. It is gray. If it is not gray, I will be fired. Color my suit gray.
This is a very depressing song. Tell me more.
That's not the song.
That's not the song?
Those were the instructions in the coloring books in the 60s.
You are kidding me.
No.
So, okay, that actually supports a little bit more of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
It's saying that it encouraged conformity and stifled creativity because there were specific instructions concerning what to color, and if you were, going outside the lines, coming up with your own color, then the book was considered, quote, ruined. As in, a child would not be able to hand in, as though you're grading these. You bring it to your mother and father and say, "Here, I drawed you a horsey," and you're supposed to take it and say, "Well, this horsey looks very strange. It is blue, and you didn't color inside the lines. It's a failure. 20 lashes with a hickory switch." Okay, I'm sorry. There's a fairy riding a sad frog in this book, and it's kind of making me smile.
Yeah. I like that one. I almost colored that one in.
Why is the fairy riding a sad-looking frog?
Well, I didn't think the frog was looking sad. I thought frog was just being frog, but I don't know. Could be fun.
Not for the frog.
Oh, no. Of course not for the frog, but for the fairy it'd be fun.
The fairy riding the sad frog. Oh my gosh, that's a children's book. We should start that.
I don't know. I don't think it'd sell.
We won't know until we try. And you know why? Because creativity. And not giving into conformity.
That's a huge leap you just made in that logic there.
I know, it just came to me.
Yeah, you should have known.
We'll be right back.
The Cape Media Center, located in Dennisport, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, is a non-profit community media center and the public access TV station for the towns of Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Harwich, and Chatham. Our mission is to build community through media, enhance democratic communication, and facilitate free expression by providing these towns with a state-of-the-art media resource center. Members can become trained in our video and audio equipment and produce their own media content. Membership includes training classes, access to our field equipment, studios, and facility, as well as airtime. Podcasters and music producers can share their content on our website. For more information, visit capemedia.org.
Welcome back to Bourbon on Ice with your friend Frosty.
And your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
And we are talking about nerdy stuff.
Well, normie nerdy.
Normie nerdy.
Yeah. We're not getting too deep in the weeds here yet.
Is there like a gauge for us about if this is normie nerdy, what's uber nerdy?
When we start going into the Metroid iceberg deep lore, Kirby, and the stuff that people don't know about.
I take it back. There is such a thing as uber nerdy.
Oh, yeah.
I did not see that coming.
You did? No, you didn't.
I thrive off of bad 1980s trivia and bad movies. The 1980s are still where I live. I will probably, one day die, and my heaven will be like a really bad 1980s retro pastiche.
I'm somewhere in the mid-90s.
One time, I'm not going to lie, there may have been a little glug involved in this. I actually had what I thought was a vision of what the afterlife looked like, and all I could say is, oh my gosh, it's an early DOS 1990s point-and-click adventure. Everything's pixelated.
Those were fun, though.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like there's an abundance of greens and yellow.
There's still point-and-click adventures on newgrounds.com, man.
I love it when people make those and they become mainstream. Like there's ones that get so big that they go onto Steam or something like that. I just love watching people rediscover what I knew in my youth.
Right?
Anyway, we were talking about coloring books, adult coloring books. Blunt and simple, these made a comeback, and then the pandemic did hit, and people were looking for things to do at home, at which
And it
point,
made a second comeback.
It made a second comeback, it did. However...
Not that I think it ever really went away. I mean, we talked about earlier, they were popular in the 60s. Paint by number was popular in the 80s and 90s. And coloring books made the return.
They're still here.
Yeah.
They're still here, because there are people who just... I've seen people on vacation. I used to work in some really nice hotels out here on Cape Cod. Hey, we're on Cape Cod, just to remind everyone.
Yeah, they're nice hotels.
Why is it that I always wave my arms? You can't see me, but I've done this like 3 times tonight. Now I'm doing it a 4th time.
I think you're just trying to project the energy onto our audience.
That's not how podcasting works.
That's not how it works at all.
That's how Reiki works. And I don't do that.
No, but my aunt does.
I know several Reiki masters. I should really ask them about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to work in a hotel, and I would just see the people in the chaise lounge chairs just taking out coloring books and sitting down by the beach and drawing things. And the thing is, over the years, I started noticing that they're not just, happy landscapes and pretty design. Not that there can't be. There are some weird ones out there. Okay, we'll call it interesting with an asterisk on the end.
I think we should call these naughty.
We can call them naughty.
Yeah. Well, naughty, not nice.
Let me tell you some of the weird before the naughty. I was looking around and actually found some of these also online because I'd seen them in real life. There are brands of horror coloring books.
Horror?
Horror. Let me enlighten you to a couple of these.
All right. Enlighten me, yeah.
The ones I found online. The zombie coloring book.
Zombies. That's not a big surprise.
Rotting flesh.
Walking Dead brought that right back.
The Tim Burton coloring book.
That's not a big surprise either. Tim Burton's been popular forever.
Seriously, what on earth do you use for colors? I think of Tim Burton and suddenly I think of black and white stripes.
Well, you're definitely not using pastels.
Oh my gosh. Unless it's red. This is a good one. The horror coloring book, Scary and Creepy Chibi Halloween Adult and Kids Coloring Pages.
One of these words is not like the other.
I'm going to describe the cover that I'm looking at right now. There is an adorable child, Freddy Krueger, making a chain of headless paper dolls. Next to him is Michael Myers impaling a smiling pumpkin. And then there's Jason Voorhees giving Chucky the doll a piggyback ride. And there's just a healthy smattering of blood all over these people.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong.
This is not for children. This is an adult coloring book. I will say that. Who opens up their Christmas packages on Christmas morning and says, "Oh, good. Ah! Mom, I think I opened yours by mistake. Oh, good. That's mine."
I'm not sure that would be Mom opening that one. That might be Dad.
I don't think you've met my mother.
Oh, you're right. I have not met your mother.
And this is actually one of my favorites that I found. Abnormality 2. 2, indicating that this was a series. Abnormality 2, Haunting Visions. And right here on the cover is a zombie bride and zombie groom kissing. Their organs leaking everywhere, and because they're kissing, their tongues are falling out of each other's mouths, suspended on lines of entrails. So I guess you'll be using a lot of red for this coloring book.
Red, purples, pinks.
A little brown for some bile?
Yeah.
Or is that gray?
Some might say yellowish.
Oh my gosh, what if that's actually
Yellow-green.
the purpose of this? It's like a low-key backdoor anatomy teaching tool. Now we learn the colors of the human body.
Yeah, the liver is brown.
And the blood is not red as you would think until it comes outside the body.
Yeah.
That which you're coloring in there, which is shattered and the zombie is eating, is called a pelvis. Let's all spell pelvis.
And suddenly we're on Sesame Street.
A horrifying one. But I just want... I had a lot of gothic friends in high school.
Yeah.
People mistook me for one of them. But
Well, it's the leather, all black.
I had the nail polish.
Oh, yeah, that would do it too.
I had the lipstick once, but my parents were like, no, you're not doing that.
Absolutely not.
But I'm just thinking, if these coloring books had been around then, I could have handed them out. We could have just been sitting under the tree. Instead of doing dark poetry, we'd be saying like, anyone got more crimson? I'm doing a scene of a bride on the wedding night.
Yeah. You're such an edgelord.
Thank you. Okay, but then I just want to jump over because on the flip side of this, okay, no, not flip side, flip adjacent side of this.
That's
Okay, the neighbor of this, I guess.
yeah, very close neighbor.
What do you get when you go into the neighbor of horror? You get vulgarity.
Yeah, vulgar humor is fun sometimes too.
Have you ever seen any of the MacGrubers or the MacGruber movie?
No, I don't believe I have.
It's
I've not seen a lot of movies. You guys are gonna yell at me in the comments like, "Whiskey's never seen this movie" or "Whiskey's never seen that movie."
turn in your nerd card.
I know. My nerd card goes to other places.
Video gaming. I mean, that's equally nerdy. You can restore your nerd card if it's lost.
Yes.
You just have to do something equally as nerdy.
Yeah, and I got dungeon mastering and TTRPGs. I got the lore for days.
I used to work at a package delivery service. I was in the back of a truck with one of my coworkers, and I'm telling him, I thought you were a nerd. You're not a nerd. You don't have a Hogwarts house? You don't have an anime you watch? He said, well, I play Pokemon Go. I said, okay, you're back. Welcome back. Okay, here we go.
Do you have a Hogwarts house, though?
He didn't have a Hogwarts house.
Oh.
Yeah, he never chose one of those things.
Oh,
I'm Slytherin, by the way. Yay, evil.
I'm probably Gryffindor or maybe like a Hufflepuff.
You are definitely a Hufflepuff. You're just, whenever you go, you make people smile and make people happy. So, just by your presence alone, that says you are a Hufflepuff.
Oh, all right then.
And for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, I'm not going to explain it, so I'm moving on. Okay, as I said, there is a line of adult coloring books that are described as vulgar coloring books. They contain swears, curses, all sorts of lewd imagery, I'll say.
Yeah, you were showing me a few of these in the little break, and
I want to read some of these, and I'm holding one right here. See, one of my best friends in the world. I want to give a shout out to Kirk, who is battling cancer.
we're rooting for you, buddy. You can do it.
Screw cancer, man. We are all with you. And, to help him fight cancer, we gave him some thoughtful gifts. And one of them was a book, a coloring book, which there's going to be a lot of swearing, but I'm not going to swear because there's just too much swearing. So I'm gonna PC this.
We're gonna censor ourselves
A
here.
little bit. The title, I'm holding it right here. The title of this book, Memos to Blanky People, a delightful and vulgar
Sucky
adult
people.
coloring book.
Sucky people.
Let me just, there's an actual disclaimer in here. Dear reader, have you ever had the experience of dealing with a blanky, incompetent person in your life? Did you ever have to restrain yourself from telling them with a few choice words? Restrain yourself no more. Instead, color the words you can't say with over 30 useful vulgar phrases meant specifically for blank holes. Memos to Blanky People provides you with an outlet where you can color your anger away. As you shade in the filthy words and innocent animals, look out for the camouflage critters. They're very good at hiding amongst the leaves and flowers in the designs. Enjoy the book, James.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. Now, this book, I'm going to open to a random page and just be horrified.
Okay, random page, go.
There is a meadow of flowers. They're all intertangled. There's leaves and there's little sunflowers there. And there's a badger. He's smiling as he's eating an acorn.
I thought that was a cow.
No, that's a badger. He's
definitely a badger.
And there's a beaver, or maybe that's a platypus. I think it's a beaver. He's looking very curious. And above all of this are the words, "Well, aren't you just the sweetest little blank cake?" Except it doesn't say blank. Every page is full of forest animals and puppies and kittens and flowers. And there was a bunny. There's a bunny. Oh, this one says, "Will you please shut the hell up?" From what I've seen in this book, that's probably the nicest one.
That's probably the tamest one we've seen, and there have been some real pieces of work.
Blank the blank up blank bag. There's puppies and a hedgehog here. I really want to color this one. I borrowed it from Kirk, but I kind of want to color this one. But this is not the worst one. This book by James Alexander is not the worst one. I happen to say, oh my gosh, I bet that there's none other like that one. And the internet said, ha!
Yeah, I mean, just in this one alone you got here in the back, he's got a internet download ones that would have crossed the line in a printed material.
I've seen what's in this book. What crossed the line? I have to know.
I couldn't tell you. My brain simply cannot fathom the depravity of these.
I'm going to read you these names, and I'm going to once again PG censor this thing for the children.
We're not going to have any children watching this.
My nephew could listen to this. He's 3. Okay, here we go. You effing got this. Motivational swear words coloring book.
Oh my goodness, that's just great.
F off. This is my coloring book. The very effing best of John T.
Is that what Kirk told you when you asked to borrow his coloring book?
Oh, he handed the thing over. F this S. Calm the F down. Here's a good one. You are effing awesome. A motivating swear word coloring book by Charlie Bond. Mommy drinks because you cry. A sarcastic coloring book.
Oh my goodness.
There's not even a swear word in the title, and still you just know it's inappropriate.
I love that irreverent humor.
Then you'll love this one. Daddy needs a blanking beer. A sweary coloring book for Dad. Shout out to Whiskey's father, the elder nerd. One of the coolest guys I've ever met.
Maybe I'll get him that for Father's Day. Oh,
my badass swear word coloring book for adults. Swearing coloring book for adult relaxation.
This just reminds me of those adult children's books. Like, have you seen that in like
the Morgan Freeman ones?
No, not the Morgan Freeman ones are funny, but the Samuel L. Jackson one too.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I convinced. They're gonna kill me for that one.
Yeah, they are.
We're going to cross the pond for a quick second because we have the British Swear Word Coloring Book, Sweary Midnight Edition, a sweary adult coloring book of 40 very English swears from the UK.
Spiffing.
Spot on. What is in that book? I want to know. But I saved the best for last. This coloring book is simply entitled Effity FFF. A swear word coloring book for adults. You get what it's promised.
I guess so. I stole that right off of South Park. I wonder how many of these come from South Park and other.
Hang on, I'm opening this book to another random page. Oh gosh, no. You blanking blank. That's about as clean as I could say. I don't know what this guy is talking about, but coloring books rule! We'll be right back.
Sorry to keep you boys waiting. Here's your food.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Can I get you anything else, or are you all set?
We're all set, I think. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Hey, Whiskey.
Yeah, Frosty?
Is it just me, or is the food bad?
No, it's not just you. This burger's not too great either.
How's everything, boys?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, food's great.
Great. I'll be back to check on you in a bit.
Terrible food.
You know what, though, Frosty?
What's that?
It'd make a great location for a restaurant.
Oh, wait, we have to talk now.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was about to... Wow.
I thought you said we were recording a different thing.
We are recording.
Well, that's a good, fair point.
People, this is new territory for us. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. We're normally on... Well, not normally. I mean, it's been years, but we used to do the radio. That's a much different animal.
We were a couple of crazy kids just taking to the mic every night and striking a blow for independent radio.
Small as it was.
Very, very small. We were broadcasting from a double wide.
that was a tagline, and it wasn't
one of our slogans. Yeah,
yeah, it wasn't a PSA, but it was
one of our slogans. Broadcasting from a double wide.
Yeah, it came in every half hour or so.
Honestly, I miss those days.
I do too. They were fun.
But this is something new.
I miss Steely or Girly Hurley.
I miss DJ Squid.
DJ Squid was good too.
Metalcore.
Hipster Jesus.
McKenna.
Yeah.
And Jade.
Jade. Oh,
I remember that time we almost killed Beth.
Sorry.
Oh gosh.
We didn't mean it.
We didn't mean it. And she survived.
That's,
Remember that time Doug almost poisoned us?
I do remember that time.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
So we definitely have to come back next week.
Yes, we do.
And we'll talk about something nerdy.
Yeah.
But for now, I think that we should say goodbye to the audience.
Indeed.
Goodbye, audience.
Well, have a good one.
Next week on Bourbon on Ice, Whiskey and I play the world-famous game Two Truths and a Lie.
We talk about our former radio station, WKKL, what we did, what we survived, and what we may have caused. Oh, man, Frosty, I'll have to get the lawyers ready.
We do that. Tune in next week to Bourbon on Ice and
Have a cold one on us. Bye, folks.
This podcast was recorded at and produced by Cape Media Center on Cape Cod, Massachusetts by podcasting duo Mike Whiskey and your friend Frosty. All music and sound credits go to soundstripe.com. Special thanks to Jamie Horton, Emily Tulloch, Gabrielle Rawson. For more information on Bourbon on Ice, visit our social media page at twitter.com/whiskeyfrosty. For more information on Cape Media Center, visit capemedia.org. For more listening options and a variety of podcasting entertainment, visit our hosts at buzzsprout.com and capemediacenter.org.